The narcissist runs to YouTube again. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You will gain much understanding about the behaviours of certain people by watching my videos. Many times you'll have been left shaking your head at the behaviour of somebody, usually something that you've witnessed in the news or on social media, and thought, why on earth have they done that? Who does that? Who behaves that way? Commonly, the answer is a narcissist. You're left scratching your head at the ridiculousness of the way that this person has behaved. And because you see the world in a particular way, it's often difficult for you to comprehend that somebody could do this. They seem so entitled. They're unable to read the room. They're oblivious to the needs of other people. Gosh, how pushy and self-centered that individual is. But by understanding narcissism, you then start to realize that you're witnessing the behaviors of either narcissists or narcissistic people, individuals who have strong narcissistic traits and low emotional empathy, who put themselves before everybody else's. Occasionally, it might be the errant behaviour of a normal or even an empath where there's been a reduction in their emotional empathy. But often that's not the case, because usually the circumstances of that behaviour is explained away by that external stressor and doesn't make it newsworthy, and therefore it doesn't come to your attention. There are so many narcissists that are unaware, and they need that control. And where their control is threatened, subconsciously their narcissism responds in order to protect them. Thus, where they're told no, that offends their need for control. While they're refused something, it offends their need for control. Where they're not given something, it offends their need for control. Where they seek something for nothing, acting with an entitled manner, and that's rejected, it threatens their need for control. And whenever a narcissist has their need for control threatened, the narcissism can't just let it pass. Something must be done. The starting point is to assert control and nullify that threat directly. So that might be, for instance, using physical violence towards somebody, shouting at somebody, pleading with somebody, doling out a pity play, laying on the charm, being persuasive, using money. There's lots of different ways that a narcissist will attempt to assert control and nullify a threat to control, some benign ways, others malign. But that's the starting point, and it's done either through a hoover or, if the threat to control is proximate physically to the narcissist, they'll deal with them directly. But in some circumstances, that can't be done. Either the narcissism ascertains that it's not likely to meet with success, or there's just some barrier, for instance, a no-contact regime or not having a means of knowing how to contact the relevant individual, that prevents the narcissist from asserting control directly. And therefore, the narcissism can't then just give up. It still has to get that control, but it moves to the second assertion of control, which is indirect. And if you'd like to understand more about how the narcissist gets control in detail through these three assertions of control, you can go to the Knowledge Vault, link in the video description, and obtain the three assertions of control. It's not expensive, and it'll make you understand so much about the people around you. Commonly, what we then see is where the narcissist has failed to assert control directly and the threat persists, they have to turn to an indirect assertion of control, which is commonly making a YouTube video, crying about their circumstances by way of a pity play in the expectation of engendering sympathy. Any sympathy that is provided by viewers then enables that narcissist subconsciously to feel a sense of control not only over that viewer, but over the initial threat, the primary threat. And thus, control is obtained. We have another example of that, courtesy of a report from Stephanie Sotoru, who writes for Yahoo News. YouTuber left crying in car after hotel exposes her request for free accommodation. A YouTuber has hit back indirect assertion of control, after a Dublin hotel exposed her request for a free 5-night stay in exchange for advertising on her social media channels. Sense of entitlement, lack of accountability, seeking a freebie, allowing others to pay, absence of emotional empathy. Elle Darby, a UK-based social media influencer with 87,000 YouTube subscribers and 76,000 Instagram followers, has revealed that she sobbed in her car after she learned that the hotel had not only denied her request, threat to control, but shared her original email online. Thus, her ridiculousness has been exposed to the world, and they didn't give her what she wants. So this narcissist stamps her feet, and with this threat to control posed by this exposure of her behaviour and a denial of her request, has to turn to YouTube to tell everybody about how badly she has been treated. Of course, demonstrating the lack of awareness of a narcissist, she fails to recognise that she invited such behaviour and that she got her just desserts. That if she hadn't behaved like such an entitled twat in the first place, the hotel would not have responded. Reaching out to the owner of the White Moose Cafe, Paul Stenson, Elle wrote, "I work as a social media influencer, mainly lifestyle, beauty and travel based, i.e. what I do is I sit in my bedroom at home, probably with a live, love and laugh thing behind my head, whilst I put on makeup, I talk about places I'd like to go to, and I try and catch freebies out of individuals. My partner and I are planning to come to Dublin for an early Valentine's Day weekend from February the 8th to 12th to explore the area. As I was searching for places to stay, I came across your stunning hotel, flattery, and would love to feature you in my YouTube videos, dedicated Instagram stories, posts to bring traffic to your hotel. Of course, grandiosity. I'm going to bring traffic to your hotel. Well, of course, it doesn't follow just because she talks about the hotel that necessarily people are then going to go and look at it. I recommend others to book up in return for free accommodation. Why don't you just go and then afterwards feature the hotel, talk about what a lovely time you've had, how delightful the hotel was, how helpful the staff were, how delicious the food was, what a super, super time you had. And then afterwards, you never know, it might come to the attention of the people running the hotel and they write and thank you for it. Or you might then, after having paid for your stay, showing some accountability, you possibly could contact the hotel thereafter and say, just letting you know, I had a fantastic stay at your hotel and I have made mention of it on my YouTube channel. Don't ask for anything. It may well be that the hotel then looks it up, sees how many views your video has got. Perhaps they've had some bookings from people who've made mention of it, and they might just respond by offering you a voucher off your next stay. But of course, you see, this dimwit who behaves in an entitled fashion has to, because driven by her narcissism, thinks, you've got to give me something for free because I don't actually care about you needing to turn a profit. I'm really important with my 87,000 YouTube subscribers and 76,000 Instagram followers. Therefore, you should give me something for free, and then I will then report on your hotel. The 22-year-old vlogger went on to add that she'd had a similar collaboration with Universal Orlando in Florida, and it's been amazing for them. Posting on the hotel's official Facebook page, Paul shared a screenshot of the message and added, "Thank you for your email looking for free accommodation in return for exposure. It takes a lot of balls to send an email like that, if not much self-respect and dignity. Challenge fuel. If I let you stay here in return for a feature in your video, who is going to pay the staff who look after you? Who is going to pay the housekeepers who clean your room, the waiters who serve you breakfast, the receptionist who checks you in? Who is going to pay for the light and heat you use during your stay, the laundering of your bed sheets, the water rates? Maybe I should tell my staff they'll be featured in your video in lieu of receiving payment for work carried out while you're in residence. Luckily for us, we too have a significant social media following. We have 186,000 followers on our 2 Facebook pages, an estimated 80,000 on our Snapchat, 32,000 on Instagram, and a paltry 12,000 on our Twitter. But Jesus Christ, I would never in a million years ask anyone for anything for free. I also blog a bit, which as far as I'm aware is another way of saying write stuff on the internet. The above stats do not make me any better than anyone else or afford me the right to not pay for something everyone else has to pay for. In future, I'd advise you to offer to pay your way like everyone else, and if the hotel in question believes your coverage will help them, maybe they'll give you a complimentary upgrade to a suite. Precisely the point that I just made earlier. This would show more self-respect on your part, and let's face it, would be less embarrassing for you. He signed off with, P.S. the answer is no. Accordingly, she behaves in an entitled fashion, showing a lack of emotional empathy, highlighted by the points that the author of the response issued, shows no accountability for her behaviours, wants something for nothing, and behaves in a grandiose manner. She's then roundly told no and demonstrated to be a fool. This, of course, is a threat to her control by the response giving her challenge fuel. Rather than think to herself, yeah, I was a bit of a prat there, I'll just quietly go away, her narcissism won't allow her to do so. This isn't fair. How dare she be denied? She is the amazing and wonderful Elle. She has all these thousands of followers, you know, and you can't treat me like that. Elle responded to the humiliating and degrading post in a 17-minute YouTube video, telling her subscribers that she had nothing but the purest intentions. Facade management, I am a decent person, you know. When she reached out to the hotel, adding that she doesn't feel like she did anything wrong. Lack of accountability, lack of awareness. She then reeled off some of the cruel comments she'd received since the email was posted, revealing that trolls... Well, I wouldn't actually say that they're trolls. She'll label them as such because her narcissism has to do that in order to nullify the threat to control that they pose. They're actually just calling it as is, as they called her a disgusting freeloader. She is, adding that the backlash had her crying on her own in her car. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Pity play. Elle broke down the reasons why she asked for a free stay and explained the social media influencer and blogging world to her followers as she defended her actions, describing her request to stay at the hotel for free as a work perk. Ha! What a deluded numpty. Since the story broke, the hotel in question has banned all bloggers from their business, sharing the sense of entitlement is just too strong in the blogging community, and the nastiness, hissy fits and general hate displayed after one of your members was not granted her request for a freebie is giving your whole industry a bad name. I never thought we would be inundated with negative reviews for the simple reason that somebody was required to pay for goods received or services rendered. Perhaps if you went out and got real jobs, you'd be able to pay for goods and services like everybody else. Just a thought. And thus, once again, we see an entitled narcissist seeking to get something for nothing, showing no emotional empathy for those individuals, no accountability for her behaviour, and when she's denied and facing a series of put-downs, rather than recognise that she's in the wrong, she maintains her innocence, denial, and thereafter cries and bleats in a 17-minute YouTube video as another narcissist takes to YouTube in order to get that indirect sense of control over the person that has threatened her control. Another example, and I'm sure you'll be able to find thousands of others. This enables you to understand why these people behave in the way that they do, because you're watching a narcissist in action. I'm H.G. Tudor with my 15-minute video about another narcissist. Thank you for listening.